Megan Edwards with MiningIR, and we are here on the last day of the mining investment event. I am joined by Sam Lee, who is the president and CEO of NorthIsle Copper and Gold, Inc., which trades on the TSX Venture under the symbol NCX. Thank you so much for being here.
Megan, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. So Sam, tell me a little bit about your background and how you got started in the mining industry.
Sure. So I'm a metallurgist by training. I ended up doing a thesis on a copper gold porphyry, which is effectively the type of deposit that we have at NorthIsle Copper and Gold. And I ended up getting it funded for about $5 million. And my thesis supervisor was a guy named Pat Sheridan. Everyone knows who he is.
Yeah.
And that made me realize I'm really good at raising money. So I spent the next 20 years at two bank-owned dealers. I ran multiple practices at CIBC, Latin American cross-border initiative, ASX, TSX listed initiative. And I've worked on over $100 billion of mergers and acquisitions. So as part of that, I got to know our chairman, a mining Hall of Famer, Dale Corman, who asked me to run this company back in 2020. So it's been almost 5 years, moving over to the dark side, or the bright side, if you will.
Yeah.
It hasn't been all easy. It's been a lot of learning on the job, but we have performed tremendously over the last 5 years. So very gratifying to see us hit an all-time high yesterday.
Yes, absolutely. Can you provide a little bit of an overview of NorthIsle Copper and Gold, Inc. and its flagship North Island project in British Columbia?
Sure. It's a copper gold porphyry, as I said. And for those of you who don't know, British Columbia used to be the largest producer of copper in Canada and at times in the world. That was based in the 70s and 80s when we had this big island copper mine that sits adjacent to our project on the north end of the island. Now, all that infrastructure has already been built, but there was this migration outside of Canada in the 80s and 90s and 2000s for projects in South America, Peru, Chile, Africa, parts of Africa. So what we're seeing now is an emergence back into Canada and North America, the tier one countries that have social license, that have infrastructure, that have talent to develop these mines. And so what we've been able to establish over the last couple of months, over the last few years, but culminated into our announcement on the PEA, is what we believe is the largest, one of the largest and the highest return, lowest capital intensive projects on the planet that currently isn't owned by a major.
Wow. Amazing. So NorthIsle recently announced the results of its 2025 preliminary economic assessment for the North Island project. Could you share some of the key highlights and what they mean for the company's future?
Sure. And so this is obviously going to substantiate what my claim is. And I know that is a bold claim, but we are based on analyst consensus pricing. So this is not on spot. $4.20 copper, $21.50 gold. Gold's at 3,500, copper's at $5 right now. This yields a $2 billion after-tax net present value with a 29% after-tax internal rate of return, 29 years, and a 1.9-year payback. And so it's about a half copper gold. So if you want to think of it from a gold perspective, it's about 310,000 ounces of gold production a year for 29 years. And it's about, if you want to think of it from a copper perspective, it's about 160 million pounds of copper for those 29 years. So it's a very, very large project with extremely low capital intensity, an internal rate of return unparalleled, unmatched in this world for 29 years, 29%. And it is copper gold, one of the most key commodities in the world today.
So with a fully funded $7 million exploration program underway, what are the main objectives and how do they align with your overall development strategy?
Sure. So within this PEA, the reason that this is not an ordinary PEA, it's quite an extraordinary PEA. It's because of the phase one. So the phase one is approximately 65 to 70% EBITDA margin, and phase two is about 50% EBITDA margin. So all the exploration dollars that we've raised, and we raised $10 million last year, is to focus on this phase one 70% EBITDA margin territory, right? Because if we are able to continue to build it, you can only imagine the impact on this project economics, given the already remarkable impact that phase one has made. So we've made 2 discoveries in the last 2.5 years. Only one of those discoveries has been put into the mineral resource. The second discovery, which we made last year, which we call West Goodspeed, is going to be developed into an internal understanding of what that resource is going to be very shortly. So that drill is churning right now, and we will get results and release those results very soon.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What should investors be watching for in the next 6 to 12 months?
Well, the next 6 to 12 months is going to be the transitional period for the company. So this is what I was brought in for. We're now a $250 million market cap. Obviously, my pedigree and our board's pedigree right now is big company picture. So as I said before, we have 2 mining Hall of Famers on the board. We've got a guy that used to work at BHP for 35 years. We've got an individual that ran a Barrick's exploration program for 30 years. We've got a mining Hall of Famer who's sold multiple projects in the past 50 years of his being involved in this industry. And so we are absolutely prepared today and activated today with the strength of our company to execute very aspirational plans. And so stay tuned, it will come up, but the most near-term news release and catalyst will be the exploration results on this higher margin area in the Northern Corridor.
Okay. What sets NorthIsle Copper and Gold apart from others in the copper gold exploration and development space, do you think?
So 100% is the fact that we're levered to both gold and copper. So there's no doubt in everyone's mind that copper is the critical metal, but gold is the critical currency, okay? Because it reduces your cost of capital, it trades at a premium, you're able to access more capital. And the first phase of our project that pays for the 29 years is a gold project. So there is not another single project on the planet that currently isn't owned by a major that has that dramatic effect in their first 5 to 6 years being gold. And so that clearly has resonated with the market. It has resonated with a much broader scope of strategics, not only base metals, but also gold strategics as well. And so for us, building these partnerships and cultivating these partnerships early is the plan, given the political environment in Canada has never been so aligned for natural resource industries in the 30 years of me being in Canada in this industry. So we are absolutely in the right spots in the precipice of this incredible movement, systemic movement, macro and microeconomic movement for a project exactly like ours at NorthIsle Copper and Gold.
If any of the people watching right now want to get in contact with you, how do they do that?
So you could visit our website, www.northisle.ca, and we have an info@northisle.ca, and we'll be able to get back to you as quickly as possible.
Perfect. Well, enjoy the last day of the conference, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Megan. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Yep.